How to have glass skin. One of the most common comments that I get on my channel is, wow, I can't believe this guy's almost 35 years old. Drop the skincare routine, Kyle. Kyle, what are you doing to stay youthful? Some guys even say, it's funny that Kyle is getting younger in appearance as he gets older and older and older. Right? And so I want to share with you guys how you can maintain that youthfulness as you mature into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, because it's important. Regardless of what age you're at right now, understand you are going to continuously age. And I want to share with you guys some different things. I want to share with you guys the fundamentals that I think everybody should be doing right now to start improving your skin. But then I also want to share with you guys some things that I haven't actually revealed about myself publicly that I have done to my skin that are more maybe considered extreme procedures that have been done. And I just want to be truthful about what's going on regarding maintaining a youthful appearance, because I don't see anybody talking about this online. A lot of the guys I idolized growing up that I know do some of these things, I don't see anybody talking about. So I want to share with you guys in this video my own experience and how you could do the same for yourself. So on the most simplistic level, it's going to be the foods that you eat. All right, I can tell you guys that because I was just in a deficit. I just did a mini cut for the last like 4 or 5 weeks, and I was eating foods that were towards the end of the diet. I was starting to deviate into more low calorie foods because I had been in a prolonged deficit for weeks on end. And so I started to stray from my normal whole foods organic diet, and I started to have a couple more foods that were more low calorie, right? Like these low carb wraps and some other seasonings and sauces and different ingredients that I was incorporating into the diet as a means of allowing me to stay true to the diet in those final weeks of the cut. And I could tell you that by the time I finished the diet, my skin was actually the worst it has been in quite some time. And that was directly proportionate to the foods that I was eating. So a lot of you guys, if you're eating bullshit food, you eat fast food, you eat out, you eat low calorie stuff, you eat junk food, that's the single biggest quick fix you could do right now to optimize your skin. Once I switched over to a whole foods only diet, that instantly clears up my skin. It's that. Obviously, good sleep will help repair underneath your eyes. All right, so that's like the foundation. Now let's talk about some things you should also be doing on a daily basis as well in terms of skincare. So very first thing I do that I prioritize is 1 to 2 times a day, I'm using a facial cleanser. I actually wash my face in the morning when I do my shower. Sometimes I do it first thing in the morning when I wake up. I'll just splash cold water right in my face, and I'll hit my face with some facial cleanser. I use the same brand for all of my skincare, which I'll throw a couple pics up right here. So the brand is called Image. If you don't have that much money, you can still get similar products for cheaper on Amazon. They have these products on Amazon as well, but all the products that I use are from Image brand. All right, so very first thing I do, facial cleanser, and then I'll let my skin dry just a little bit, and I'll put on niacinamide. All right, so I'll put that on very lightly, let that dry up. I'll then do a vitamin C serum on my face, let that dry up. I'll usually brush my teeth at this point or put a little something in my hair while that's drying, and then I always put on a moisturizer with some SPF, and then I also do an eye bag, an under eye, like eye bag cream. All right, and these are all different and beneficial in their own ways. Obviously, the niacinamide and the vitamin C help to moisturize or hydrate, I guess, and then they tighten the skin as they dry. And then the moisturizer, along with the SPF, will protect you from the sun throughout the day. And then the eye bag cream is just focused right around this area. All right, so I do that every morning. And then nighttime, occasionally I'll do retinol like twice a week in the nighttime. So I'll actually do a facial cleanser, or I'll shower at night, and then I'll actually put on a retinol before bed. Be sure to wash that off in the morning. You don't want to keep the retinol on the next day and then go out into the sun. Actually, it does more damage to your skin. Since we're on the topic of sun as well, I do get quite a decent amount of sun, especially living in Miami. I just don't stay out in the sun for prolonged periods at a time. So I'm typically only out in the sun, like laying out here when I'm doing my meditation or my daily reflections in the morning. So I do probably get 15 minutes of direct sunlight on a daily basis. And then obviously when I'm out and about walking throughout the day, there is sun hitting my face too. So I don't like to over tan. I do tan technically, but it's when I have SPF and I'm protected, and it's for shorter bursts at a time. I never am letting my skin burn out in the sun deliberately. And if I know that I'm gonna be out in the sun, then extra SPF or you need to reapply, or you need to just do what you can to put a hat on or get an umbrella so you're not damaging your skin. Because when I was in my 20s, I thought that, oh, if I'm more tan, it's gonna make me look even better. So I would just lay out in the sun for long periods of time. Honestly, that ends up doing more damage to your skin. What I'm showing you guys is more of a long-term play to just maintain youthfulness. So since we're talking about getting tan, I do think that since I'm naturally a pale dude, that me being a little bit more tan, like right now I'm slightly tan, it definitely accentuates youthfulness as well, because the more pale I am, the more you can kind of see cracks and wrinkles. So it does help a little bit, but you don't want to abuse getting tan, because it's a quick fix, but long term it actually does more damage. All right, so it's going to be the diet, the hygiene, and then washing and using the skincare products on a daily basis. Now let's talk about some, I guess, more extreme procedures that I've done to maintain my youthfulness as well. All right, so the very first thing that I did was when I was about 30 years old. I'm about to be 35, but when I was 30 years old, that was the first time ever that I actually did what's called a skin pen plus PRP treatment to my face. I have always done PRP to my head because I've been battling hair loss for almost 15 years at this point. I was damn near balding at like 22, 23. I've had to get hair transplants in the previous years. I feel like I've maintained my hair at this point. I've really got that solved. Like I was actually pretty much bald at one point. That's a whole nother topic for another video. But I'm always used to doing an annual PRP treatment on my head. That's when they take your blood, they turn it into a plasma, they actually inject it into your hair, and it helps with stem cell reproduction. And so I was already doing this, and when I found out you could do it to your face, it just made sense. I was like, yeah, it worked great for my hair. Let's do it on my face. And so I started doing that annually at 30 years old. I did it 30, 31, 32. We also did a targeted PRP to my under eye, because I thought my under eyes were really bad when I was in my late 20s and early 30s. I was smoking a lot of weed. My diet was off, my sleep was off, and I just had these like discolored under eyes, right? And so I noticed recently in the last year or two, it hasn't been a problem. It hasn't bothered me. Like I actually fixed the problem. And so yeah, doing the skin pen plus the PRP, that one treatment is an ongoing maintenance thing of maintaining youthfulness. All right. So you can do that every 6 to 12 months if you have the budget to do so, obviously. If you want to experiment with it, I would say commit to doing it maybe once or twice for the first year and then reevaluate if it actually works for you. All right. The next thing that I've also done, so after I did that for a couple of years, the next thing that I was looking at was actually Botox injections, right? And this is something I thought was really weird initially. I had a very skewed perspective on it. I thought, oh, that's just for like old ladies that got these crazy faces, and you're gonna end up looking fake as fuck if you get these injections done to yourself. And I was like really against the whole thing. And then when I started dating my last girlfriend, she's like, no, it's okay. You could actually do it very lightly. I spoke to a couple different professionals about the whole thing, because I was like super weirded out about the whole idea of it. I guess Theo wants to join this video. Welcome aboard, Theo. But I was really weirded out around the idea of doing it. And then after speaking to a couple different consultants, they said, yeah, you could do it in a small dose. And essentially, it wasn't even technically Botox. It's like a slightly different variation. It's not technically Botox. I forgot what they called it. But it allows you so you don't build up a tolerance or an immunity to it, which I guess is a lot of people's main concern with Botox, is that you're not gonna be able to move your eyebrows, you're gonna look fake as fuck. So I did a very healthy, natural appearance where I didn't wanna overdo it. I didn't wanna look fake. I didn't wanna not be able to move my face around. I just wanted to minimize the wrinkles on my forehead and then also the crow's feet that I have on the sides of my eyes. All right, and so I've done that probably for the last 2 years, once every like 6 months or so. You could tell on certain videos, like I'll have more wrinkles on my forehead and more wrinkles here. That typically is when the Botox is wearing off. If you have a famous influencer that you like to follow that is over 40 years old, and you can't, and they don't naturally have wrinkles on their forehead if they're older, I promise you they're using Botox 100%. This was a misconception that I had, because I just wasn't aware of Botox, because none of these people talk about it. But if you watch guys like Brad Lee or any other somewhat healthy looking dude who's over 40 years old and he has a lot of money, I promise you, if he doesn't have a shitload of wrinkles on his forehead, I mean a lot, because like you'll have a lot of wrinkles naturally on your forehead by the time you're in your late 30s, right? So if you know somebody who's older when they move their eyes, they don't have that much wrinkle up here, I promise you to some extent they're using Botox. All right, that's just how it is. Unless they're absolutely genetically best, like that is the main procedure that's going to remove that and prevent further wrinkles. All right, I have seen some other evidence stating about like potential risks and side effects of Botox. So I am aware of this. I'm not abusing any of this stuff. My main concern with skincare treatment is maintaining a youthful appearance as long as possible without damaging my body, obviously. Like I don't want to risk putting myself in danger just to maintain youthfulness. I like a all-around approach of maximizing youthfulness, but also mitigating damage. I'm like slightly risky, but still on the healthier side of everything, considering I've removed all the drugs, alcohol, all this other stuff. So a little bit of potential risk for me outweighs all these other things, in my opinion, that majority of society does. So that's my perspective on it. And then the other thing I've actually done recently, I tried something different this year as the technology has gotten better and better. I actually did a laser procedure to my face. It's called Tixel. It was recommended to me from one of my high-end clients because he looks very youthful. He might even be watching this video. What's up, my man? And so I ended up doing the laser procedure because essentially they put this laser, they numb you a little bit, they put a topical cream on you, they numb you a little bit, and then they hit you with this laser. And then over the next couple of days, that top layer of skin actually peels off and it boosts the collagen production. And so you're left with very new, tight skin. And that is also kind of like an annual ongoing treatment that you could do as well. So I actually had a great experience with it. I thought it was actually better than the PRP. I guess both have pros and cons to each one in terms of healing and duration and pain and all that stuff. But I'm most likely going to go back and do the Tixel again at some point this year. The one final thought that I also wanted to say, outside of the extreme procedures, because those are the main ones that I've gotten done, that's all the ones I've gotten done to my face. The one other thing that I will say is that when I'm skinnier and more lean, I also have a more youthful appearance. So if I look back on previous pictures of me when I looked fatter, even though I was younger, I actually looked older. Right? And I tell a lot of guys, like when guys lose weight, I guess it just I don't know what it is exactly, but it makes you look more youthful, right? So that was another thing I noticed from my own personal experience. So on the lower end of the extremes, cleaning up your diet, whole food ingredient diet only, getting quality sleep, using quality products on your skin, and actually applying them 1 to 2 times a day, morning and night, avoiding too much sunlight, getting a little bit of a tan in moderation when you actually have SPF on, all of those things alone can massively change your appearance. If you're getting into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you want to go that extra step to tighten things up a little bit more, and you want to go beyond just like the natural approach, which in my opinion, if you really want to look dialed in, honestly, to some extent, unless you've been perfect with this routine since you were in your teenage years, like some of you guys have bad habits that you've done over the last 10, 20 years, or you just never took care of this part of your body. So it may need a little bit more of you stepping in and intervening to like take a little bit more of an extreme measure. Then I would look into either the skin pen and the PRP or potentially even a laser. And then also if you feel like you have really bad wrinkles and you want to experiment with the injection, then you can do that too. It does wear off over a couple of months, so it's not like you're gonna be stuck with anything. Your face isn't gonna look weird. Your face isn't gonna swell up. It's not painful. You're not gonna get addicted to it. Like it's a little extreme and negatively portrayed online by the people that abuse it and really overdo it over decades and decades, and they develop dysmorphia, and then before you know it, they're putting all this filler and shit into your body. I've never put any filler into my body. I don't plan on doing anything like that. I just want to maintain a youthful appearance with minimal damage to my body, right? And I think that's, if I had to guess, that's what most people want anyway. And so I wanted to talk about this topic to share with you guys the honest truth about what's going on, because I've never heard any male influencer say that they've gotten Botox or even talked about it. And I know that all of these dudes that are like 30s, 40s, 50s, they've all done it 100%. I've gotten it done enough times where I could look at somebody, even if they have a natural appearance, I can look at them and tell that they've gotten it done. So those are all the different levels you could use. You decide what's best for you. All right. And that's how you can maximize your skincare and optimize your appearance to help maintain that more youthfulness and to boost your physical appearance and create more attraction from people's perception of you, okay? If you want to increase your social confidence, your self-development, your discipline, your mindset, your physical appearance, your diet, and your nutrition, if you want to start to build out and deck out your character on all of these different levels, I'd love to help you. I have coaching programs where I work with men directly to transform their social life, their dating life, their self-development journeys, your business, your brand, whatever the thing is. If you're interested in that, you could click the link down below. Check out the brand new programs I got going on for 2025. That's all for this video, fellas. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.